Hello my Filipino people, I just got back to Manila from Puerto Galera Island, and it was one of the most beautiful places that I've been to. That place is magical. But what's with the selling of girls for sex in these Philippines islands? Is this normal? Like, why is this happening? Lots of 18-year-old girls, 19-year-old girls getting sold for sex to old white perverts. Oof, I've never seen anything like this. So let me give you a story of my experience in Puerto Galera. And I've been told this is true in most of the islands. So I went there with my two Australian friends. They were a couple, so a boy and a girl. On our first day in the island, we were told this is the place where you go and have like fun, nightlife and all of this. So as young people, of course, we want to go grab a beer, enjoy, watch people dancing and everything. So we went there, and the moment we got there, I realized how these old people were approaching my friend, the female friend of mine now, in a very disrespectful way, offering like money for sex and everything. So I was like, is this how people over here approach these young ladies for sex? So how they were talking to her was really bad. So we had to intervene. So that is our first experience. We had to intervene because they were really almost like harassing her. Okay, so she actually cried later because the experience wasn't really good. So she was like, if this is me, a foreigner who has just come here and this is how they are treating me, what is happening with the local girls? But that was the start of what I saw later. So the next day, of course, we went to White Beach. White Beach is this amazing beach, very beautiful, and there is lots of people, especially on weekends. So guys, if you've watched my videos, you know that I like talking to people. I like having conversations with lots and lots of people. That's how I get to know people. That's how I get to understand the culture and everything. So one thing I realized very quickly, okay, let me see. One thing I realized very quickly is that when the local Philippines men saw a foreigner, and especially when they saw an old white foreigner, they will approach him very quickly with a phone, and in their phone they will be having like several girls on their phone. So they will be offering these girls to these old men for sex, of course, and they'll be like, for this girl, 2 hours, $50, overnight, $70. Okay, so they will of course also approach me. Of course, I'm young. For them, they know young people normally don't have like a lot of money. Okay, or maybe I don't know, but there's a criteria they use to approach people. So a few of them approached me, and it was the same. They will come to you pretending to sell necklaces to you, but once they begin talking to you, because this necklace will cost you like 200 pesos. So this is not why they approach you. This is just a way of approaching you. So once they approach you, for 3 minutes into the conversation, they will bring out their phone and start showing you images of girls. Very many girls. These girls look young. They look like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and they'll be like, you can have this for 2 hours, you can have this for 3 hours, you can have this for overnight. So they'll be like, have this. You don't like this? There's another one. 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 And remember, this is a man who looks like he's in their 50s. They're maybe 50s or 60s, and they'll be offering you these very young girls for sex. So at some point I asked one of them, why do you have to do this? Is this not like exploitation? But they were like, this is the only way we have to survive over here. And okay, I understand these things have been happening for a long time, of course. Sex work is something that has been available for a long time in many countries. Like I was in Nepal, I was in Malaysia, and I know these things happen, but I've never been to a place whereby people approach you with a list of girls, and these girls, they are almost naked. They show you pictures of almost naked girls in their phones. So this is the first time I'm experiencing something like this. And when I was talking to these girls, to a few girls, of course, while I'm doing vlogs, from what I've heard is that these girls, they are really treated badly by these old white perverts. They treat them like dogs, okay? Just because they offer money, then they end up treating them so badly. So guys, I know maybe tourism is a big thing over here. It generates, like, I don't know, a lot of money for the country, but at what expense? And I know not all the tourists do this, not all the old men do this, but it's really a big thing from what I saw in the island. And I was there for a week, just a week, and I really saw this happening, and I wasn't really happy about it. And what I've heard is that in the other main islands, it's even worse. So my biggest concern is how these people treat these young ladies. And I know these young ladies are adults because they are already 18. But when you find a 70-year-old getting sold for an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old, and they treat them badly just because of the money, is it good morally? But anyways, I don't want to judge. I don't want to get into the business because I don't know. But it wasn't really the best thing to see, because my friend, especially my friend Megan, she really was so sad about everything. Like when we were seated, having a drink and talking about it, I could see how sad she was, and I could see the pain in her eyes, because for her, she can say no to such things, she can say no. But for these Philippines village girls who don't have any options, it's really hard for them. And so that is observation number one. Number two, you saw me talk to a few like ladyboys. So there is one thing I observed from these people that I talked to. So there were either three reasons why these boys decided to convert into ladies. Number one is genuine reasons. Those boys who felt like they were more females and they decided to go, maybe have surgery, be with girls. Good, that's good. Number two was peer pressure. Those who saw their friends who had, converted, and they were being treated nicely and everything in the islands and everything. That was number two. Mainly peer pressure, nothing big. But number three, which was sad as well, is imagine this: you are a young boy. You see all the young ladies. They are being like they are doing the sex work for money, okay? And you are at home, you don't have a job, you can't even approach these ladies in the first place because all of them have been taken by these tourists. And you see other lady boys, young boys who have converted into lady boys, they are also getting paid for this sex work and everything. What's the best thing to do for you? You can't get a lady, number one, because all of them have been taken by tourists. Number two, you see those who've converted into ladyboys, there is a way they can at least earn a living from the sex work. So what's the best option for you? Then they decide to convert because they don't have an option. Okay, so that was not the best thing as well. But I again ask myself, for a young man who is in his early 20s, how do you even compete with these old retired men for these your fellow girls? You can't compete, okay? So anyways guys, I don't want to judge. Although I know maybe it's different countries, different cultures, but especially with the selling of the girls, when a 50-year-old man is having like 20 photos of almost naked girls on his phone and they're selling this to tourists, these girls who look like they can be his children or even grandchildren, I don't know. You tell me what you think about it, but for me, it doesn't really sit well with me. But anyways, the island was beautiful in itself. Nice people. I met nice people over there. I enjoyed. Yeah, but this selling of ladies, this I didn't like it, to be honest. Ladies can choose to do sex work by themselves, but when they have to be forced into it, then it's a problem. Because imagine this, if one of these old men was like a predator and they don't mind sleeping with 11-year-old, 12-year-old men or girls, and they offered good money to these men who are selling the other guys, do you think these men will say no to the money? Do you think so? Because if they are ready to sell an 18-year-old girl for $50, okay, and then someone else comes with a better offer, but the only catch is that you have to bring younger girls, do you think this man will actually say no? Or do you think they just bring the girl? I don't know, you tell me. But okay, you tell me. So anyways guys, that is what I saw. I'm only saying what I saw because it was really sad. Because when I saw my friend, she even cried, like I told you, she even cried. And also myself, I didn't really like it and I didn't appreciate it at all. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know whether actually Philippines people speak about this, or is it just one of those things that everyone just knows it's happening and everyone decides to shut up about it. But I don't know. You tell me about it. Okay guys, so that's what I had to say about my experience down there in the islands. But I've had it even worse in the other islands. Okay, because young local girls who can't maybe go for higher education, they're just stuck in those local villages close to the beaches, then they have to be lured into this bad stuff. And the worst of all is that they are treated like dogs, you know. These girls, they are treated like dogs by these old men. These men who fly from their countries, and because maybe they have like some retirement money, and then they decide to just come to these developing countries, Southeast Asia, or maybe to even other parts of the world, to treat girls badly. Okay, but anyways guys, goodbye.